Okay, so Vince, when you're facing some difficult times as an originator,
Yep.
Production's down, do you pivot to other products, or do you maintain course and just double down on what you have already been focusing on?
Boy, that's a good question, which is unusual from you. But I would say that it really kind of depends on your marketplace that you're in.
Okay.
I think the problem you sometimes have, I mean, certainly if what you had been doing was focusing only on refis the last 2 years, you'd better pivot.
Yeah.
But if you're doing home purchases, then you concentrate on that. But then you also look around and say, do I have in my marketplace more self-employed people than I expected I really wasn't focusing on them before, but my gosh, there's a market here. Sometimes that pivot gets you into non-QM, gets you into private lending, and you realize that you can actually expand what you're doing here, and you should, because your marketplace has more opportunity for you than you thought it did.
So what would you do if you were faced with down production cycle, your focus was agency paper, doing a mix of purchases and refi, but all Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
Right.
What are you doing?
I would probably try to stay with that as I could, but as we know, I mean, the volume of that is down so low that even if you're still focusing on that, you may have a hard time keeping yourself, financially afloat. I would certainly bring in more opportunities. I would take a look, again, at my marketplace. Is it an older population? If it's an older population and it's getting older, I would probably take a look at reverse mortgages and say, what can I do here? Is this a really good product? And with reverse mortgages, you have to have a lot of education to make this work for you. So,
all about education.
So you're gonna have to spend a little bit of time there. I think with the other products that we're talking about, again, private lending, are you going to deal with people who are now buying up properties and rehabbing them? You need to really understand how that market works. And the same thing with non-QM. I think non-QM is a fantastic product. It works for so many people on so many levels. The self-employed, I once said during COVID to one of the big companies, they didn't know what was going to happen with non-QM. I said, you guys should be focusing on pizza shop owners. They are all having a great time in COVID, and they all could probably use your product.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Would you pivot?
Yeah. So to me, I believe there's riches and niches. So I personally think pivoting, but use that opportunity to pivot to say, hey, listen, maybe I should focus on something else. Maybe I should focus on non-QM. Non-QM is just there's still what I believe is a blue ocean out there. Reverse mortgages. I think it's a different animal, but great opportunity, amazing product. Of course, working with real estate investors. I mean, what couldn't you like about 7 loans a year versus 7 loans of a lifetime? Right. So for me, I am pivoting and I'm staying in pivot mode.
I agree. Well, you see, in this case, I agree with you. I think a down market especially. An up market, you get overwhelmed with how much work is coming into what you're comfortable with. But a down market, you have to look for new opportunities and new things to add to your portfolio. And when you do, sometimes you're sitting there like, well, actually, I'm actually getting pretty good at this. I want to make sure I can deal with as many potential customers as possible. This has actually helped me find new ways to bring in more revenue.
Yeah, so. And of course, the byproduct is you could still do that agency paper. So you might be the expert when it comes to dealing with these niches, but you're always going to be willing to do a regular Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac 30-year fixed for owner-occupied borrowers.
Well, I'll tell you, we don't disagree too much on this one here. So what I'm going to have to end this one on is you have a point. Andrew has a point for once. Okay.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.